Hello everybody and welcome to the Simraceway Sunday race-off. We're here today at Laguna Seca and it is the return of the skill quant races. We're here today for the first of tonight's races, the 5 to 600 skill quant, and still our own racer here is James 38, the 74-year-old, making his second consecutive Simraceway Sunday race-off. He's going to set off now for 5 laps around the infamous Laguna Seca Raceway. So as he makes his way down into the opening corner, it's definitely a sign of things to come today. It'll be absolutely phenomenal to hear 12 Mitsubishi Evos fly their way down into the corkscrew a bit later on. The circuit, which have seen so much action over the past couple of years, from endurance racing in the ALMS to the MotoGP, which famously saw Marc Marquez overtaking Valentino Rossi through one of the tightest corners in all of motorsport. And James 38, as we say, 74 years old, our oldest community member here at Simraceway, and he's going to be looking for his second Simraceway Sunday race-off victory. He makes his way to 5 laps to try and get himself in the clear, and he's, just all about now just trying to pace yourself. And Laguna, again, is one of those circuits where you have to pace yourself. You cannot actually push more harder than this. You cannot go flying because it's deceivingly a high trap, because if you look at all the runoff areas you've got, it looks like you've got a little desert around you. The sand could go on for miles and you could be flying across the Astro no problem and get yourself back on the circuit. But in reality, there's some very, very harsh concrete barriers there. It's a deceptively slow circuit. You've got to pace yourself. You cannot find yourself, attacking every single corner, because you will make an error and this circuit will punish you greatly for it. As he goes over the corkscrew now, you drop over 13 meters through one corner in a space of around 5 seconds. He makes his way into the penultimate corner. Such a perfect flow of corners into the final 3 in this circuit. You go to the left, back to the right, and then into the final corner. And in these Mitsubishi Evos, it really does feel fantastic. Just to make sure, if you're racing later tonight, you maybe watch James 38's driving style now, just kind of see what kind of pace he's doing, because he's definitely pacing himself as he approaches a second lap out of the 5 here today, across the start-finish line again, and he starts lap number 2 out of the 5 here today. Bit of a lift, he's gone a bit too far to the inside, gets himself back to the outside of the circuit. And now makes his way. You can see a nice little helicopter in the sky. I never noticed that before. It's a nice little inclusion to the circuit. There's no fear now. We'll go under the Bridgestone Bridge, through that very fast right-hand. And now that again is a corner which encourages you to try and get as much throttle as you can through there, and it really can catch you out. It's so deceiving. You want to take as much as you can. You want to go flat out through there. But if you don't do it right, if you miss your turning angle by at least a millimetre, you're going to find yourself losing valuable seconds as you kind of trundle across the sand on the side. You need to get that corner absolutely perfect. As also this is turn number 7 and 8. Nice little kink as you begin to make your way up the hill towards the corkscrew. Again, can catch a lot of drivers out. Big oversteer moments we've seen there in the past. I'm sure we're going to see some here tonight. A bit of late braking now as James pushes his way through. Again, very calm. He's been very collected driving. He's got the 3 C's, cool, calm and collected, as he makes his way to the end of the lap. And you've got to notice as well his driving style. He did this last race where towards the end he does get a lot more confident in the car, and he can set much more aggressive lap times when he feels like you're in his comfort zone. That's when you can push, when you're truly 100% comfortable as to your own ability and your car's ability, and that you will not go, careering off the circuit. So lap number 3 out of 5. Half the job is done now for James 38. He's going to try and get himself to the end of the race. As we say, he's done half the job. Again, a bit more aggressive line into turn 1. Smooth right hander. Bit of an early lift there for James. He really is taking his time today. Nice and conservative, which is again what you need to really conquer this circuit, especially when you go out for an endurance race like some of the drivers have done in the past. In the days when we saw the Bentley Speed 8 and the Mitsubishi Evos, we believe, tackling this circuit in our first multi-class race, it was a sight to be beheld. It was absolutely brilliant. And you can see the Evos really were trying to take their time. When you had a race that long, the last thing you want to be able to do is fly yourself off the edge of the circuit. You need to be able to keep a cap on things, keep a cap on your emotions, and get yourself in the correct mental state. He comes up towards the corkscrew for the third time today. The helicopter camera looks down on him as James again makes the community proud. And through the left-hander under the bridge, and again, possibly my favourite part of the circuit. A lot of people, if you ask them what their favourite corner would be, they would say the corkscrew. I'd rightly disagree. I would say it is turns 9 and 10. Those brilliant little kinks there where you can just glide over the apex, lift off the throttle and slowly depress it back on again. Really does make a race driver's heaven. So James then about to start his penultimate lap of the race. 1:56.397 last time round. Let's see what he can do this time. I think James, of course, using manual gears as well. James keeping a steady hand at the wheel at the moment, as the guys in the chat really are quite intrigued to see how this Evo tackles the circuit. It's just nice to see it make itself at home in the first of tonight's skill quant races, which go all the way up to the very end. It's going to be a hell of an evening of racing if last week's anything to go by. I think we can tell that the skill quant introduction really was a success for Simraceway. We had so many people in the chat as well, and your thoughts really were listened to. It was a pleasure to listen to your comments about the broadcast and the races themselves. And James makes his way up towards the corkscrew again under the Rolex bridge. Early on the brakes, you don't want to be late on the brakes into the corkscrew, the one real corner on the circuit. If you get late on the brakes, you never really know what's going to happen to the car. You could have oversteer, you could just snap out the rear end, you could go fly in the opposite direction. There's no guaranteeing you're going to make it over that corkscrew safely. So into the final corner, and this is where all of James's hard work is going to pay off. A little bit wide there, but he doesn't lose the back end. Very nice control of the car. And over the start-finish line, he's got 1 minute 57 to go. Roughly until we crown him a 2 Sunday race-off winner. 2 times. It's something not only drivers can put on their Simraceway CVs. But James is going to add himself to that list. And again, nice casual lift. He's really not pushing that car. It's nice to see him taking it in his stride within his own comfort zone. He's not overdoing it, and that's exactly what you need to do. You know, you've driven 4.5 laps, you don't want to bin it now, you just want to try and bring the car home. He's locked up a little bit there into turn number 6, but it won't be anything too crucial. Up the hill he climbs once again, now towards the corkscrew. And for the final time today, oh, he's got the braking point a bit wrong there, and that could have gone the other way. Lucky he's able to hold on to it. Takes a bit of a rough exit, but again, it's not really going to cost him a race right now. And that is how deceiving the corkscrew corner really is. It can throw off even the best of drivers. We've seen it in the past. I'm sure it's going to claim a few big names here tonight who try an audacious attempt at trying to pass. But right now, all eyes are on James 38 as he nears the final corner to end his second consecutive Sunday race-off and end it in his second consecutive victory. So across the start-finish line, he's going to come then. James 38 is your winner of the Skill Quad 500 to 600 Sunday race-off. Week number 35. Congratulations to our oldest member in the Sunday race-off, or in fact the Simraceway community. And don't forget, we've got all the next races coming up for you very shortly, including the 700 to 800 that is coming up at roughly 5:35. So about 5 minutes time is when the pre-race briefing gets underway. The race itself begins at roughly 25 minutes. So from myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you shortly.